passion for dance consumed me in middle school, stacking ballet on top of tap, on top of jazz classes. She eventually suggested I contribute financially to this expensive hobby. She helped me arrange a deal with the studio owner to work the reception desk in exchange for free classes, where I could even do my homework in between tasks. My mom's generosity and devotion also carried over into her marriage of 53 years with my dad. A girl who never wanted to leave New Orleans, unless it was to sing in the hippie band of the people. She picked up and moved to Boston for his graduate school, and then helped them get settled into life in Atlanta. Whether in New Orleans, Boston, or Atlanta, their love of music and spirituality created a bond that stands the test of time. Speaking of time, my mom had a memory like a steel trap, remembering the details that the rest of us had long forgotten. Making memories was sacred to her, and she ensured our childhood overflowed with them. Looking back, I realized she was making deposits in our family's happiness bank. She created a ritual on Sunday for dinners at our favorite restaurant, Dalt's, after church, and before Dad left for his travels for the week. Birthdays meant the full treatment, special treats, friend-filled parties, and our home transformed with signs, balloons, and streamers. And her family vacations? She was painstakingly creating masterpieces, such as cruising California's Pacific Coast Highway from San Francisco to LA in a rental convertible, with the top down, of course. Growing up, we naturally see ourselves as the center of the universe, believing our mothers exist solely to orbit around our needs. But becoming a mother myself opened my eyes to the profound truth. Motherhood was only one facet of my mom's rich identity. She had passions, goals, and extraordinary qualities that shone brightly for her spouse, her colleagues, siblings, and friends. While she was an incredible mom, I've come to understand how remarkable she was in the fullness of who she was. First, she was unapologetically herself. As a girl, she rejected dolls in favor of games and sports with her brothers and neighbors. Gifted in mathematics, unusual for a woman of her generation, she earned a college degree in the field and launched her career in applied mathematics. She was not your typical Buckhead Betty, for those who know this type, as she prioritized comfort above all. The sass loafers she wore during my childhood, which I found deeply mortifying, her beloved recliner for watching TV, and especially her bed, where she would luxuriate, as she called it, for as long as her schedule allowed. She was always a picky eater, though I did eventually convert her to kale, and equally selective with her friendships. As an introvert, she only needed a few close companions to feel complete, and once you entered her inner circle, her loyalty was fierce. She never felt ashamed of her quirks or felt compelled to change for others' approval. I can now appreciate how this gave me permission to be comfortable in my own skin. Second, she felt called to serve others through meaningful work. Even while raising us, she carved out time to serve those less fortunate. Many of you might have seen them today. At Christ the King, our childhood church, she launched ministries like Stephen Ministry, providing care during life's difficulties, and an Enneagram program, helping people deepen self-understanding for a richer spiritual experience. She earned a master's degree to work as a hospital chaplain and a caseworker at St. Vincent de Paul, a Catholic nonprofit serving the disadvantaged. After Amy and I left home, she embarked on her second act career, as if that wasn't enough. Her work as a physical therapist was rooted in service. She wanted to provide manual therapy that would ease her patients' pain. she never pursued glamorous positions or corporate climbing. Instead, she was driven by empathy, feminist convictions, passion for social justice, and a belief in personal growth. Why was she such a devoted mother, so authentically herself, and so called to meaningful service? It's because she had a deeply personal relationship with God. She wrote about her encounters with the divine, truly believing God could be experienced here on this earth. In the passage we recently discovered in her spiritual journal, she described an encounter with God during a nature retreat, and she wrote, "I told the Lord, thank you for this reminder that you are not to be found behind me, but with and ahead of me." She faced her final weeks without fear. When hospice care began, she was told death was approaching. She remained peaceful. She had always looked forward to being released from her physical body, which had brought her much pain through various ailments over the most recent years. It brings me profound comfort knowing that God was with her as she was dying and waiting ahead to receive her as she drew her last breath with us. She is now at peace with the God she so faithfully served. May we all